I honestly don't even know how to start this. It has been so long, but I'm just gonna start off by saying hello. It has been 5 years since I have posted on this channel, and I have to say it feels so amazing to be doing this. I want to be clear and just say I am not coming back to YouTube. This is not like an I'm back video. It's more of a coming back to myself. The day that this video goes up is the 10-year anniversary of my coming out video, and I just feel so joyful, so grateful to be here. I'm actually on a trip with my girlfriend and my friends. We are in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, and it is my first time here, and we are just having the best time. My girlfriend went to college here and it just has been showing me around and sharing all of these memories, and it just feels like such a full circle moment. I wanted to make this video not just as like a full circle moment for myself, but for all of you who have come up to me over these last 10 years and have stopped me on the street or in the grocery store or in a bookstore or just wherever getting ice cream, and have told me what my coming out video has meant to you and how it has impacted your life. I love hearing your stories. I love hearing what you're doing in life. And to this day, every week, I still have at least one person that comes up to me and tells me what my coming out video meant to them. And I really wanted to do this for all of you who have said hello to me over the years, and all of you that I haven't been able to meet over the years, but were impacted by that video. There's just so much life that obviously has happened in 10 years, but I really wanted to just reflect on what it has been like being out for 10 years, what it was like posting that video and the aftermath, because when I went into making that video, I never thought that it would get the response that it did, both positive and negative. It has millions of views on it now, and that was not something I was expecting. I literally made that video for myself and to share with my community. I didn't think it would be something that would go beyond that. You know, when I came out, I was 26 years old. And thinking about that, I'm just like, oh my God, I was such a baby. Like, obviously I was a woman, I was an adult, but compared to how I feel now, I was just so young, and there was so much ahead of me that I just had no idea about. After I posted that video, it was simultaneously this feeling of freedom and feeling just this immense amount of gratitude for doing something that I was so nervous about, that I was so scared to do, especially in such a public way. And behind the scenes, what a lot of people don't know is that there were people telling me not to come out, that it would jeopardize my career. And I said, I'm doing it anyway. And that was really painful for me, you know, going into sharing with everyone publicly, having that in the back of my mind, knowing that there were people who didn't support the choice that I was making to make being gay, being lesbian, being queer, all of the words that I identify with, to make that public. To know that they weren't behind me in that was really terrifying, and telling me that my career would be jeopardized because I am a mixed race woman. I did not grow up with money, and I was 26 years old. I had built this career being a creator, and that money was the only money that I had ever seen in my life. That was the only significant amount of money I had ever seen. I was fully supporting myself. That was really scary to have people say, this is gonna jeopardize your career. Everything that you've worked for is gonna go away. And at the same time, I thought to myself, you know, I have been through so much in my life. Just up until that point in my life, 26 years old, I had lost a parent. I had a sick parent growing up. I did not grow up with money. I was like, I can figure this out. I have been in hard places before, and if my career disappears and I lose everything, I can figure it out. And I really felt that way because I felt like the relationships that I had in my life, outside of the people who were telling me this is gonna hurt your career, I felt like those were so solid. And especially to have my mom behind me and fully supportive of me, that was everything to me. Reflecting on that time is also really interesting because much like today, I went on a trip with friends and had this incredible experience. Like, I wanted to post that video and literally just be in the world with the people that I loved and just be in my life and celebrate that. And so I remember just like posting the video and then going on this road trip with my friends, and I'm literally doing something very similar right now. I feel like it's such a huge moment for me personally, and also we are in this time where our community is under attack, and I really feel that a part of fighting that is to fight back with just pure joy and fighting back by being our full selves, fighting back by lifting others up in our community and protecting those that need protection. I feel that so deeply because that's how I was treated when I was coming out, before I came out publicly. Like, when I was told by people that I shouldn't come out, that coming out would jeopardize my career, there were people in our community who held me, who were living a proof to me what being out could be like. And I specifically remember just being embraced by Max. Shout out to Max. He had been out for a long time, and I just remember crying to him, and he held me. He understood that it was really hard for me in that moment, but it would be okay, and that who I was okay to share with the world, and that there was nothing wrong with me. It was people like that who literally brought me in and protected me and gave me the strength to keep taking those steps forward that have led me to this place now where I have no tissues. They have led me to the place, the land of no tissues. It's because of people like Max that held me, that supported me, that saw me, really saw me in this moment where I was really struggling, and just showed me through being themselves that I could do it, that there would be people there to support me, to protect me, to help me grow. And that meant everything to me. I feel like part of being a queer person is making the world a better place for people who come after us, so they don't have to go through the same things that we had to go through. When I came out, it was such a shock to so many people, because people were just like, you don't look gay, you're doing this for attention, you're a liar. People could not wrap their heads around 10 years ago that a mixed race woman with an established career in beauty, who is feminine in her presentation, could possibly be gay, could be lesbian, could be queer. It was absolutely just like shocking to people. While there was so much joy and freedom that I felt after coming out publicly, I was also receiving a lot of threats, and my privacy and my safety were compromised, and that was terrifying. It was really, really scary. I know what it feels like to have your personal safety jeopardized, when you're literally getting threats for just being who you are. There was just so much emphasis on how I looked and how I presented, loving beauty and being mixed race and, also being queer. Like, how do all of these things come together? This doesn't fit the molds that we've been fed for so long in terms of what gay looks like, because we've always existed. I am not the first mixed race femme lesbian to ever exist, but it was so shocking to people that this is what queerness looks like. That has really been a journey for me, and I think that's part of exploring your queerness, is how you want to present yourself. And so the way that I present myself is for myself. It is my way of stepping out into the world and feeling like I am translating what's on the inside to the outside. And that is also a constant evolution. How I present myself today is not going to be the same 10 years from now. How I present now is not the same as 10 years ago. I feel so much more in tune with myself, and 10 years from now, that's only going to deepen. The idea of queerness just fully stopping at who you're attracted to and how you present yourself is such a small way of viewing queerness, because it is so expansive. I am a lesbian, I am gay, I am queer because of the choices that I make in my life, because of how I move through the world, because I actively work to decenter cis white men from my lived experience. All of those things come together to create a queer culture. When we come out, we go from a world that is black and white to all of a sudden being in full color. It becomes this new starting line. And when you do the work to investigate those deeper, sometimes darker parts of yourself, everything shifts, everything changes. Your relationships change, how you look changes, your career changes, how you show up in the world changes. And just like there were people in the community who were living proof for me that life can be full and big and beautiful, and that the changes that are happening when you come out can lead to something so beautiful that is so much bigger than yourself. I think that what I've learned about coming out is that you do this very private, singular, individual act, but it becomes so much more than just about you, because those people in our community that held me when I needed them, they probably weren't thinking when they came out that they would be doing that for someone, that they would have an impact on someone else's life. And so we do these things that in the moment we're doing them for ourselves because we need to free ourselves. And it ends up having an effect, a positive effect on somebody around us. That is proof that coming out is so much bigger than just this individual act and how it touches people for the better. And now, 10 years later, my life is so different than it was before. I have a completely different career. I feel so happy with who I am, and that's always a work in progress. But, my life is not what it used to be, where I was traveling all the time and I was getting sent products all the time. I quit YouTube 5 years ago, and now I'm running my own business, The New Savant, where I'm making fragrances that are my new medium for storytelling. And I feel like, as a queer mixed race woman in the fragrance industry, this is just like where I'm meant to be. I feel like I have stepped into my true calling, and everything that's happened before was just like the runway for me to get to where I am now. And, after having this career online, I just needed to have a reset. Like, I had spent so much time online in front of a camera, traveling everywhere, and I just needed to hit the reset button. I had no idea what I was gonna do next. And then like a few months later, I just taught myself how to make candles. And then I decided I could turn this into a business. And then before I knew it, a year later, I had made over 10,000 candles by hand and was selling them. It has just been this incredible journey, you know, like I'm not living this life that I had imagined before coming out, of like getting married to a man and having kids by the time I'm 30. I'm 36 now. I don't think I want kids. I'm so into my career. I'm so into my friends, my life, my dogs. And I just feel like I'm living such a full life. This is what I have chosen. This is actually what I want. I just feel like I really have found my calling with the New Savant, because I am now in this industry that has been so male dominated for so long, and specifically cis European men. They have been creating these fragrances for so long that are mostly consumed and purchased by women. And so they've been telling us what smells good, just because they've been the ones in charge of making everything. And now, as a queer mixed race woman, I am telling stories through fragrance. I am making the fragrances that I always wanted to make but could never find. Like, if you remember, you watch my videos back when I was burning Bath & Body Works candles in the background of my videos, like that totally informed my love of fragrance. And now I'm building a business around that. We have our own candles. We've started with candles. We're getting ready to launch a body product. It is literally my younger self's dream to be doing this. And designing fragrances, for me, it just comes to me like a songwriter or a painter. Like, putting things together through scent just makes sense to me. And it's like all of these things over the years have just clicked into place, and it feels so special. And I just feel like my way of pushing the boundaries and being rebellious has always been through telling stories and my creativity. That's how I take up space in the world as a queer mixed race woman, is through my creativity and through fragrance, through this like invisible superpower that takes up physical space in the room that you cannot see, that says so much for me without me having to say a single word. That is my work, and I just feel so grateful to be here. I just think about how I ended my coming out video 10 years ago, talking about giving myself my best chance. And I think about me now and how most days I wake up and I like myself. And in a world that has told me I'm a liar, that has tried to erase me, silence me, keep me small, waking up most days and genuinely liking who I am, that feels like the biggest revolution. Because when we like ourselves, we are able to show up in the world fully and do the work that we were meant to do. I hope by giving myself my best chance, someone else is able to give themselves their best chance too. I am so immensely grateful to be sitting here 10 years later, just so happy and so fulfilled. I've said this before, but I feel like we have just been on this journey together. We've grown up together, and I'm still around. I will not be making content here on YouTube. That's not my job anymore, as I've explained, but I am still around. So I will link down below what I'm up to now if you want to come say hi, if you want to check things out. I don't know how we will cross paths, but I hope we cross paths again sometime soon. I'll see you around. Bye.